Welcome to day 352 of our DeSo journey. I'm Ed Krasenstein here with my twin brother Brian. And remember, these videos are being sponsored by CloutFeed. Or by NFT Tech. They are an investor in CloutFeed. Got a little confused there for a minute. So yesterday, Natter kind of unveiled something that we didn't really know about, and that's that another hard fork's coming. He said another hard fork's going to be coming before the launch of DAO. Of course, DAO is launching in about 18 days or so right now. So probably within the next two and a half weeks, we're going to see another hard fork. That was in response to a post by It's Aditya, where It's Aditya posted about how he's looking forward to DAO, but he asked Natter, he asked Lazy Nina, and he asked Patern when certain features such as profile extra data are going to be here, derived keys, and the ability to revoke derived keys. And Natter's response was, I'll read it to you right here. All the code for all of this is merged. You can see it in the core repo. We're planning another hard fork before DAO launch that will trigger all of it, plus all the hypersync and on-chain order book exchange logic as well. So all that's going to come within the next 18 days, which is pretty incredible.
Yeah, it definitely, like, I wasn't expecting him to just address it so on point and abruptly like that. But yeah, that's good news. I think that a lot of criticism has come from people who said, hey, you're kind of forgetting about the stuff that we were working on before and concentrating on DAO, but it appears that it's going to roll out with DAO. And that's definitely something that I think a lot of people are going to be happy to hear, especially the developers who have been working in the background.
Yeah, for sure. So Beyond App, what is Beyond App?
Yeah, so Beyond App, it's a node on DeSo. You can get to it at beyond.restartu, the letter u.org. It's been a node, it's been around for a while. It's flown a little bit under the radar, I think, for a while there, but they just did something, and they're going to start giving blue check marks, so that like verification check mark on their node to anybody contributing to making a difference in the lives of other people. And I think a lot of this stems from what's happening in Ukraine. There's a lot of people raising money, just doing really good things for the Ukrainian people, trying to help out. So they want to reward that. I'm assuming it's not only confined to people helping Ukraine. It's basically anybody trying to make a difference in others' lives. But they're going to give a blue check mark. They made a post that said, if you're currently engaged in a charitable activity to promote peace or provide humanitarian aid to those suffering in the war in Ukraine, here or abroad, please post tag Beyond App, so at Beyond App, and describe your valuable contributions to humanity. And I assume that if you know somebody else who's doing it, you can also tag Beyond App and tag the person. They don't say that, but I know a lot of people that are doing some really cool stuff probably don't want to brag about it. So definitely check that out. It's a great cause. It's going to help reward those who are rewarding others.
Yeah, definitely. I love it. I love that idea. So Mossified, of course, Ed Moss, part of the DeSo core team, he made a really long post yesterday. It was actually a thread that was 24 posts long. And it talks about the crypto space and talks about why DAO is a step forward and why he's so excited about DAO. He talked about how the crypto space is a giant experiment where there's all these projects that are failing and people are learning from the failures, and it's just moving so quickly. And there's new projects that start up, but as soon as some start up, they fail, but people learn why they failed, and they get ideas, and they take those experiences that they learn and move on and start new things. And eventually great innovation comes out of this. He basically said you just need to quickly refocus when you fail. And he talked a lot about BitClout, and BitClout, he said, isn't a failure because there was so much that was learned from BitClout. The launch, all the things that went into making BitClout, and how there's this giant spike in users and then it kind of just dwindled away. They learned a lot, and they're feeding those learnings into the creation of DAO. And I know I've mentioned this in the past. I think Natter's using a lot of his experience with BitClout and the launch of BitClout in the creation and launch of DAO. Now you see them using Discord. I think that's that's huge. You know, they're building this community before the launch, whereas in BitClout, they started with no community and just built it as it launched, and it was just a gradual trickle effect. But then people ran out of steam and they collapsed. So I think the idea with DAO is you want to, you know, get it off to a firing start. Like as soon as it launches, there's going to be an explosion of ideas, explosion of DAOs, explosion of interest in the platform, and hopefully that explosion just keeps expanding. But yeah, I mean, I think we'll see. What did you take from Mossified's post, Brian?
Well, to your last point, and I think now, as opposed to back in March and April, we had the whole ecosystem, the infrastructure in place to kind of fulfill what people might be expecting. Whereas back then you only had BitClout, there's no other nodes. You're joining BitClout and that was it. So I like that. I like how, personally for me, I thought maybe they're going in too many different directions. And I think Dharmesh kind of pointed this out as well. But the way Ed Mossified put it is that the best strategy is to experiment widely, learn deeply, and execute rapidly. And he said you have to go wide before you go deep. So I think his philosophy, and I'm assuming Natter's as well, because it aligns with what he's saying, is to expand wide. And then as you learn what's working, what's not, then you pick and choose where you're going to go deep into. And that gives you a bigger base to pick and choose from, which then allows you a higher percentage chance of succeeding. So I actually like that. It kind of, like, I was in Dharmesh's camp. I was in the camp of what I posted a couple of days ago, but that does sort of convince me that maybe it is okay to expand in a width rather than in a depth right now, especially since we don't have a ton of people that we're going to scare away. So if some people lose interest in the meantime, it's probably not the end of the world. They can come back. We don't have millions of people that we're going to just give up something huge. There isn't too much to give up. And that's not a knock on DeSo. It's just that the number of daily active users is around 2,000 or something right now. So it's not huge. So if we do mess up or turn some people off, it's not the end of the world, as long as we're going to find something that's going to bring them back and attract even more people. He said that DAO is an experiment. And of course, every startup is an experiment. And I think that's definitely the case. Every startup is an experiment. Nobody knows for sure if a startup's going to work. All they know is that this is a new idea, an idea that has a potential of working. And if we all work hard together, we can hopefully make it work. And if it doesn't work, like maybe some people say BitClout didn't work, we can take lessons from BitClout and we can apply them to the next, I guess, peg in the wide board that we're trying to focus on.
Yeah, I mean, there will always be the people in the camp that can also say that, you know, BitClout wasn't really given a fighting chance. You know, marketing should have been pushed into BitClout to help get the word out. Just as the community was at its peak, they should have pushed the pedal to the metal and it made it explode. And you know, I kind of think that's how things should have went back then. It didn't go that way, and I think it's too late. It might be too late to kind of put the pedal to the metal in there. That bus may have passed by already. You know, so I don't know.
It's tough though, because if they spent $20 million in marketing for BitClout, and then, I mean, BitClout was BitClout, would that have really done anything? Would the users have stayed on board? I think it's smarter to widen the scope, get a couple things going, figure out which one of these, I guess, pegs in this wide board you want to really focus on. And then when you start advertising, you have this entire ecosystem backing it to help retain the users. So I think that maybe looking back, you could see it that way, but at the same time, I don't think BitClout was ready. And I think that
I think if you could go back and change things, I think you just go back, start with Diamond app, and you would have everything that we have now built on the platform, and then you start letting people in. You start the Discord talking about amping up this new program, amping people up about this new social media website and social media blockchain that's coming out. Get all these people ready. They're like ravenous, ready for this new platform to launch. And then you launch Diamond app with all these features and all the dev tools for others to build on top of it. Or maybe even let devs build before the platform actually launch. But I mean, hindsight's 2020. You can't, it's hard to really, it's easy to go back and say we should have done this.
And what you just said is exactly what they're doing with DAO. So let's
Yeah,
see if
exactly.
if
Well,
this is
like
success.
Ed Moss said, they learned from BitClout and they're using those learnings to feed into DAO.
Yeah,
So
so let's get on to DAO. So yesterday, DAO they sold another gold ticket. This time to username, it's YLHAAI. So some anonymous username. We don't really know what it is, who it is. But another gold ticket. They're selling a lot more silver tickets. Of course, yesterday bronze tickets sold out, like we said. They are talking in the Discord about possibly making maybe a paper, a copper, or a wood ticket, some weird terminology based on something less valuable than bronze, and maybe pricing it as low as $1 to allow more entry points. I'm a fan of that. I think that the more people that can join, maybe $25 or 2.5, not $25, 2.5 DeSo is too high for some people. The more people that you can get involved early, I think the better. So I think that's a great idea. And then Goldberry made the DAO song, and it's amazing. It's great. If you haven't checked it out, go to Goldberry's account, just Goldberry, and check it out. It's really cool. She did a really good job. She is, of course, in a car accident a couple weeks ago and got injured, but she's back at it.
yeah, I'd like the dollar NFT, like the copper or paper or whatever you want to do. I think the more people with skin in the game when it launches, the more people that are going to be interested in the platform, more people are going to be helping promote the platform. So I love that. Now, as for the top hashtags yesterday, thanks to Open Prosper, DeSo was #1, followed by Top Tip. This was a trend started by Happy Rabbit that essentially asked people to talk about themselves. It asked several questions, and then it asked them to give a top tip for new users on DeSo. That was followed by Fun DAO, which was a trend started by Alendez. He was having a big party. It was based around some of the Tunel community, Tunel arrows. It was a Fun DAO party, and that was trending. And then that was followed by NFT and crypto.
Yeah, so some new ones, 2 new ones this week, this last 24 hours.
I think people are starting to use hashtags to
in
get
the way they
more
should
attention.
be. Yeah. Open Prosper top earning accounts, $97,024 in total was earned in the last 24 hours. 1,005 creators earned at least some DeSo. This is up about 130 or so from yesterday. Definitely a good trend. We'll see if it continues. 13 creators earned at least 1 DeSo, and the top earners were DAO at $94,431, $94,431. Then Cloutpunk, Real Zach, Shade Flowers Wallet, Seals, MV040558, Test Capital, Unix44, Live Oneself, and Unicat. So congrats to all of you.
Congratulations to them. No community events today, so it's a slow day. And Supernova's launches tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. I think that's all the news we have for today. We'll talk to everyone tomorrow.